Welcome to my channel, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. You learn over time that power is built by patience, not pressure. And as a hairy bodybuilder, this lesson becomes part of your daily rhythm, because nothing about real progress is rushed. Every rep, every meal, every decision compounds quietly. You stop chasing shortcuts because you have seen how fragile fast results can be, and instead you choose durability, structure, and long-term consistency. Discipline becomes your edge because it removes emotion from action. You train when it's hard, you rest when it's necessary, and you stay focused when distractions try to pull you off course. Confidence no longer comes from mirrors or opinions. It comes from knowing you are reliable, that you follow through even when no one is watching. Repetition stops feeling boring and starts feeling powerful, because repetition is proof of commitment. Pressure doesn't scare you anymore because you've learned how to carry weight without losing control. Mentally and physically, you move with calm intent, understanding that energy spent on comparison, doubt, or impatience is energy wasted. Your standards rise quietly, and so does your self-respect. Life challenges feel lighter because discipline has trained you to respond instead of react, to adapt instead of quit, and to continue instead of hesitate. You become steady in a world that rushes, focused in a world that distracts, and consistent in a world that looks for quick wins. And as this mindset deepens, strength expands beyond the gym, shaping how you handle responsibility, pressure, and uncertainty. You move forward without needing applause, trusting the work you put in daily, knowing that the man who stays disciplined, who respects his process, and who commits to steady growth will always stand strong, grounded, and unshaken. Because real strength is not loud, not rushed, and not temporary. It is built quietly through daily choices rooted in patience, integrity, and unwavering self-belief. And as that quiet strength continues to grow, you begin to understand that discipline is not something that limits your life. It actually expands it, because structure creates freedom. Being a hairy bodybuilder taught you that when your days have purpose, your mind has space, you no longer feel scattered or rushed. You move with intention, conserving energy for what truly matters. Consistency becomes a form of self-respect, a promise you keep to yourself regardless of circumstances, and that promise builds trust within. You stop relying on external motivation because internal standards are stronger and more reliable. Progress feels steady because you have removed urgency from the process, allowing patience to do its work. Setbacks no longer feel personal because you see them as part of refinement, small corrections that strengthen the overall system. Your confidence deepens because it is no longer fragile or reactive. It is anchored in proof of endurance, discipline, and follow-through. Pressure becomes manageable because you have trained yourself to remain composed under stress, to focus on execution instead of emotion. Your presence becomes calm and controlled, naturally commanding respect without force. And as time moves forward, you remain committed without obsession, driven without chaos, and ambitious without ego, understanding that true power is not about intensity alone, but about sustainability, and that the man who continues showing up, honoring his standards, and trusting the process will always stand strong, balanced, and in control, because real strength is built through daily effort, quiet discipline, and unwavering belief in the path you have chosen. And with that balance firmly in place, you start to feel how discipline has refined your instincts, because repeated effort sharpens judgment. Being a hairy bodybuilder taught you when to push and when to pause, when intensity builds strength and when patience preserves it. You no longer confuse exhaustion with progress or chaos with growth. You value efficiency, precision, and intent, each choice made with awareness of long-term impact. Your confidence becomes even more settled because it is no longer reactive to wins or losses. It is rooted in stability, the knowledge that you will adapt no matter what shows up. Challenges no longer feel like threats because you have faced resistance enough times to trust your response. You stay present, focused, and deliberate, using pressure as a tool instead of allowing it to control you. Your habits protect your future because they remove guesswork from hard days. guiding you forward even when energy is low. And as years pass, your strength takes on a quieter form, one that shows up in reliability, emotional control, and consistency across all areas of life. People notice not because you demand attention, but because you remain steady when others fluctuate. You continue building without shortcuts, without noise, and without comparison, knowing that the strongest men are not defined by moments of intensity, but by their ability to remain disciplined through ordinary days, choosing growth again and again with patience, clarity, and an unshakable belief in the process that shaped them. And as that steadiness becomes second nature, you begin to see how discipline has simplified your life instead of complicating it, because clear standards remove unnecessary decisions. Being a hairy bodybuilder taught you that simplicity is powerful when it is built on consistency. You wake up knowing what needs to be done, and you do it without drama, without negotiation, and without delay. Your mind feels lighter because routine carries the weight of choice, freeing your energy for execution. Confidence continues to mature because it no longer depends on momentum alone, it depends on commitment. The quiet certainty that you will keep going whether the days feel easy or heavy. Repetition becomes reassuring, a signal that you are aligned with your purpose, and pressure loses its ability to distract you because you have learned how to stay grounded under load, both physically and mentally. You move through challenges with calm awareness, adjusting your approach without abandoning your direction. Your habits become safeguards, protecting your progress from emotional decisions and short-term thinking. And as time stretches forward, your strength reveals itself in restraint, patience, and control, qualities that outlast trends and outwork excitement. You stop needing to prove anything because your life reflects your discipline, steady, focused, and intentional. And you continue forward with quiet determination, knowing that the man who stays consistent through routine days, who honors his standards without compromise, and who trusts the long process will always remain strong, centered, and resilient. Because true strength is not built for applause or moments of intensity. It is built for longevity, through daily choices made with clarity, discipline, and unwavering self-belief. And as longevity becomes your true measure of success, you understand that discipline has given you something rare: the ability to stay grounded while continuing to grow. Being a hairy bodybuilder taught you that evolution does not require reinvention. It requires refinement, small improvements layered patiently over time. You stop seeking extremes because extremes burn out, and you choose sustainability because it lasts. Your confidence becomes even quieter, almost invisible, yet impossible to shake, built on years of showing up without excuses. Pressure no longer disrupts your rhythm because your rhythm was forged under resistance. You stay focused on an execution while others get lost in emotion. Your mindset becomes efficient, conserving energy, eliminating distractions, and directing effort only where it matters. Discipline turns ordinary days into building